You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today National Medal of Honor Day. We appreciate all those that are serving our country. The National Medal of Honor Day. Do we have any history on the Medal of Honor Day? The Medal of Honor is the highest military award for valor in the United States, created in 1861. March 25th, 1863, Secretary of War Edwin Stanton presented the first Medals of Honor in the Army to 6 members of Andrews Raiders for their volunteering and participation during the American Civil War raid in April 1862. Medal of Honor is awarded only to U.S. military personnel by the President of the United States in the name of Congress for personal acts of valor above and beyond the call of duty. 3 versions of the Medal of Honor, one for the Army, one for the Navy, and one for the Air Force. Personnel of the Marine Corps and the Coast Guard receive the Navy version. Since its creation, 3,468 Medals of Honor have been awarded to the country's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen. Thank you to all of them. And not that it's in any way close to being the same thing, but as our appreciation for the military, our team, once again this year, our team at Geneva Financial rated #1 in America for the Homes for Heroes program. #1 in America, Homes for Heroes. So we love our veterans and we serve them on a regular basis. Let's see, what else are we celebrating today? Oh, I see it. We're celebrating National Lobster Newburg Day. Have you ever had lobster Newburg? I love, most kinds of lobster I like. But National Lobster Newburg on March 25th ushers in a celebration worthy of a sea captain. An American seafood dish. Lobster Newburg includes lobster, butter, cream, cognac, sherry, eggs, and cayenne pepper. I guess I better get back to doing the broadcast today. Otherwise, I would sit here and drool all morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 118 points. The S&P 500 is down 10. NASDAQ is down 36. Oil up $1.35 a barrel. Wow. Do we even want to look? Because I noticed gasoline prices here in the formerly Golden State have been increasing again. $4.99 a gallon in California. $4.32 for Josh. Take off $0.50 in the big cities. I don't know if I want to look even. Ariane's paying $3.09. So $3.09, so they're $1.90 cheaper than we are in California. But we like taxes. We like fees. I noticed that our Proposition 1 passed. What does that mean? Well, $6 billion more in debt for the state of California. $6 billion. I wonder if our kids, hopefully we die before our kids and grandkids die, because boy, we are giving them one hell of a present. All this debt that we're racking up. What is debt in anyway? Just think about this concept of debt, because we talk about it on Ron Siegel Radio. So debt is nothing more than borrowing from our future. We're saying we can't wait. So we're going to borrow money from the future, spend it today, and let somebody else pay it back. Guess that's the way it works here in America. Speaking of debt, did you see the news? Breaking news. I guess we can come out with this. So somebody in New York finally has half a brain, maybe just half a brain, but the appeals court, and I don't care whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, but the fact of this lawsuit that Letitia James brought against Trump, and the judge ruled on it before the case started. I don't understand how that works, but that is New York. So they rule against Trump. They say that he's got to put up a $454 million bond before they can do anything, before they can appeal. Well, the appeals court says, no. We're going to give you 10 more days, and you can put up $175 million. Still, massive amount. I think, wasn't the Revolutionary War where we fought so that the king couldn't steal the people's stuff, their properties? I think that was the Revolutionary War. And I would share this with you because it does not matter to me whether you like Trump or not. I lead a lending team here at Geneva Financial. Okay, and I would share that probably 99 out of 100 loan applications that come in, 99 out of 100 of the loan applications that come in for people restructuring a home, a loan, their numbers, they believe their property is worth more than what we think it's worth, what the appraiser thinks it's worth. Now, there is only one true value of a property. The true value of any property, it's always going to be the same. So it doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It's what a willing buyer will pay a willing seller. So if the seller's not willing to pay, well, then it's got to be, they haven't come across the real value yet. If the seller's not willing to let the property go for a certain price. If there's no buyers for that price, well, the property is probably overvalued because somebody would buy it at some price. So what a willing buyer will pay a willing seller is the value. Now, I just watched some of these different sites and I look at values, and I looked at a property last week, and the values that came in on this property were so far varied by so much. It was just amazing and they were all on automated valuation systems. So I look at them and I say, you know something, if the valuation systems are all different, how can any individual come up with a price? Now, I did listen to a commentary over the weekend, and I heard that Eric Trump said that when they valued their property in Washington, D.C., they put a value of X on it. And I don't remember what the number is, so I'm not going to say anything. But when they sold it shortly thereafter, they got more money for it than what it was on the sheet, on their statements. Now, anybody in their right mind understands this. And the documents from Trump even had this. If you don't agree with our valuations, do your own calculations. Has anybody ever heard of an appraisal? That's what we do with most properties around the country. Basically, if you're going to get a conventional loan, unless there's a whole lot of equity left over the loan, that would be called a property inspection waiver. Unless there's a lot of equity left over, then the government-sponsored entities say maybe we don't need to do an appraisal. But for the most part, an appraisal is done by an independent individual saying what the collateral is worth for the benefit of the lender. It has nothing to do with the value of the property. They're just saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Lender, here's what we think the value is. Could be more. Generally, they don't put that down if it's more, or it could be less. They put that, if it's a refinance, the appraiser doesn't get the number in advance. If it's a purchase, the appraiser gets the number in advance. And they say, We think we can substantiate value. So in Trump's case, he put down more than it was really worth. Who cares? The banks are going to do their own valuation. So it's a shame when we start seeing things like this happening, because you say, okay, what if you didn't have enough money to go and fight this lawsuit in court? What if you didn't have enough money to go and when nobody was harmed? That's the key here. Nobody was harmed. The banks got all their money back. The banks want to still do business with them. The banks didn't feel like they had a bad deal because they're the ones that came up with the interest rate. When somebody calls our team and they say, well, I want to pay 3%, we're going to say, sorry, that was like 3 years ago. Interest rates today are, and we put a number out there. Well, I'm sure the banks did the same thing with Trump. They said, we value the property at this, and we want this as the collateral. And here's what we're going to say is we want in the way of interest. The lenders want two things from a loan. They want to know how they're going to get their money back, and they want to get their interest. That's their profit on doing the loan. Pretty simple. And when that happens, you've got a good transaction. Except in New York, where some targeting can be done against individuals, and a judge sides with the targeting. Thankfully, the appeals court did not. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, 6 ways to spring clean your home and finances. What exactly is mortgage APR? What are experts saying about the spring housing market? Options to avoid foreclosure. We'll talk about all that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with across consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions. They don't tell us points paid, points received, APR. All they do is tell us what the locked rate is, and the locked rate is what you put into your calculator when you want to find out what your payment's going to be. 30-year conventional loans down 6.772. Jumbo 30-year down 7.21. 30-year FHA down 6.617. The USDA down. That was up 6.587. Hard for me to read the arrows. They're real big and they're bold. And Josh makes them nice and clean for me. And it's Monday morning, and I still can't articulate them properly. Yeah, and the VA loan, best loan on the market, 30 years down 6.374. If you want our market commentary, well, that comes out as early as the data allows. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. You can sign up. Costs you absolutely nothing. And we put that data out each morning, rsrmarketminute.com. And now let's take a look at what's going on in those markets today as we speak. The S&P 500 is now down 7.36. 10-year Treasury's up just a little bit, 4 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities are down a little bit, 4 basis points. We had a little bit of data come out this morning. Let's take a look and see what the data is telling us, because this is what's driving the market. So we got new home sales, which measures signed contracts on new homes, decreased by 0.3% in February at a 662,000 unit annualized pace. January's figure was revised higher to 664,000 from the previously reported 661,000. The unit of new homes on the market increased by 1.3% to 463,000, while the median new home price decreased by 3.5% to 40,500. And once again, as usual, we get bad data from Diana Olick. And it fascinates me because Diana Olick, the fascinating part here is she's on CNBC. Now, I don't know if you watched it, but Chuck Todd, another NBC corporate person, he's upset that his station actually at NBC hired Ronna McDaniel. And why is he upset that they hired Ronna McDaniel? Well, he's upset because she used to work for the RNC. And he says, is she speaking on behalf of herself? Because she always spoke on behalf of somebody else. Chuck Todd, you held a fundraiser at your house for Hillary Clinton. So are you speaking on behalf of yourself or on behalf of somebody else? Jen Psaki worked as the spokesperson for the president. speaking on top of her on behalf of herself or somebody else. Just goes to show you with NBC, they really don't want to give anything that's factual. They just want to go out there and spew garbage that they can come up with that really doesn't help anybody at all. I'm going to suggest to you, if you want it, here's my opinion. The news that I get are almost all from services that I pay for. I want to make sure I'm getting news to you that is accurate. So I go and I pay for different services that I've vetted and I've talked to other people and we believe to be accurate data. For example, I've told you right along that we get this BS report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They call themselves the BLS. I just say it's BS. Well, someone who used to work at the Federal Reserve, Danielle DiMartino Booth, she has a product called the Daily Feather, and it is a paid service that helps us understand what's going on economics. Again, she worked for the Federal Reserve for 9 years. So when I talk to you and say, well, we get bad data about employment from the BLS, the BS group, well, I can substantiate that because I can go and I can look at some of the commentary of what I get from Danielle DiMartino Booth. She just shares data. That's what the news should be doing, is sharing data, not telling us what they think. I don't care what Chuck Todd thinks. I don't care what Ronna McDaniel thinks. I want facts that I can go and say, okay, based on the data, the research, and I know that you can make stats say whatever you want them to say, but if you look at it, and I got this report from Danielle DiMartino, it says, to corroborate the 90% of the states with declining job opening rates on a year-over-year basis, we give you the 96% of industries via Indeed.com that are also seeing declining year-over-year job postings. The absence of demand for labor is ubiquitous, whatever you say that. If you prefer, it's 17.6% year-over-year. The percentage of states with rising hiring rates is near post-pandemic lows. This blanket geographic weakness is manifesting in declining weekend hotel occupancy for leisure travel, which are suffering 13% year over year. Gives you all kinds of real facts. Whether you like them or not, it is factual data. So, when you want to hear factual data, we go and we find it for you. If you want to get it yourself, you're more than welcome to do that as well. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next loan or next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment. Want to chat? Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. rsrdebtfree.com. I'm trying to find my notes on this one because I've had it on our agenda, on our rundown for quite some time. And what happens frequently is I get talking too much, so I don't find the report, or I don't get to the report. Today we're going to do it. What exactly is mortgage APR is what our subject will be. Borrow Smart again, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. Mortgage APR refers to the total amount of interest you'll pay on your mortgage yearly. Learning how to calculate APR can save you a lot of money over time. What is mortgage APR? Is a common personal finance question with a fairly straightforward answer. Mortgage interest rate and mortgage APR are two closely related yet distinct concepts that you'll encounter when discussing mortgages. The interest rate is the amount you're responsible for paying on your home loan each month. The APR is the interest rate plus other fees and costs associated with buying a home or with getting the loan. When looking for a good deal on a home, it's important to know how mortgage rates can impact your expenses. We're going to help you better understand what goes into mortgage APR and harness the knowledge to find the best loan for you. Key takeaways. Mortgage interest refers to the amount you're charged each month. Mortgage APR includes your interest rate and other fees that you're responsible for paying. APR includes interest, broker's fees, origination fees, discount points, interim interest, and more. What is interim interest? Because that's the number that allows mortgage people to manipulate the APR during the process. What do I mean by manipulate the APR? Well, being you're talking about, you have to understand what is interim interest. So when you're getting a mortgage, you always pay in arrears. When you rent a property, you pay in advance. What is arrears? It means you're paying for something that already happened. So when you pay your April mortgage, you're paying the interest for March. When you pay your March mortgage, you're paying the interest for February. Well, most people don't close right on the first of the month or the last day of the month. So there's some time period before you get to that before you get to that interest period. So let's say you close your loan on the 15th of April. Well, your first payment is not going to be until June 1st. Yes, I know that you get in most cases, you're going to get a 15-day grace period till the 15th, but let's just talk about the initial numbers and go with the 15th of April. Well, you're going to pay interest on that money because you've borrowed it from the 15th through the 30th. So that's what the interim interest is the 15th. Now, why do you say, Ron, how do you say it's manipulated? Well, the reason I say it's manipulated is because if one lender understands this and let's just say you go and your loan's going to close on the 5th of April. Well, you're looking at 25 days worth of interim interest, and that goes into the APR. Now, let's just say that a different lender says when they do your documentation, they put out that you're going to close on March 31st. Well, then you've got zero interim interest in the APR, but it's going to show up later on at the end after you've already got to the 11th hour. It's going to show up at the very end, and that's how it's manipulated, is through that process. So you just want to be real, real careful when you're looking at these things. So that's the manipulation part, just so you understand. APR is what you pay on top of the principal of your loan, the amount you borrowed when you first took out your home loan. This is why APR is sometimes called the percentage rate, and is one example of many confusing mortgage terms deciphered by us in a regular basis. If you have a higher APR, then you expect to make a higher monthly payment for the term of the loan. You also want to really compare APRs and not just the flat interest rate. This is an article. So I got this article, and this came to us from credit.com. Credit.com. And the reason I bring that up is because sometimes you get good information from some of these places. Sometimes you don't. So here's one where they put in here that the APR is what you pay. No. When you put in your mortgage calculator, you put in the interest rate. You do not put in the APR because you're not paying that every month. You're paying the interim interest. You're paying the broker fees and closing costs and discount points. Those are all paid in a lump sum. Now, you can amortize them over a period of time, and that's what the APR does, but it's not in your monthly, it's not part of your monthly payment. If you put in the APR to get your monthly payment, you're going to get the wrong number in your calculation. So I hate it when some of these places, they go out there and they give you this information, but don't really keep it clear, because I can show you that when you do an adjustable rate loan, sometimes your APR is way below what the interest rate actually is going to be to get going on it. So I just want to make sure you understand that APRs can be manipulated. So I shared with you how that is. What is a good APR for your mortgage loan? It's going to depend on the person, but a lower APR is almost always better. But why do I say almost? Well, I'm going to share with you something I tell a lot of organizations, and a lot of people listen. Some people don't. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. So I had a client that had a very, very short-term hold on a property that she was refinancing. The property was owned free and clear. They just needed some money for a very, very short period of time. I think it was like 8 or 10 or 12 months, something like that. Well, we went and used a much higher than market interest rate so that we can get them a lender credit to pay all the closing costs. So whenever you hear that somebody's paying all your closing costs, be careful. What that means is they're charging you more interest to cover those closing costs. Somebody has to pay them. Buyer always pays. It doesn't matter what, buyer always pays. Just think about that. If you go to McDonald's and want to buy a Diet Coke, do you really believe that they're not charging for the cup? It's built into their cost of sales. So the buyer's paying for it. I digress. So let's go back to this one. The concept here is the buyer's paying for these things. And in that scenario, we charged more. There was no cost for the loan. It gave them enough money to pay back for the lender, for us to pay all of their fees. So let's just say the fees were $3,000, and I don't remember exactly what they were. And let's say that the higher interest cost them $40 a month. Well, remember I said they're keeping the loan only for a year. So let's see. Would you trade $40 a month times 12, $480 to get $3,000 in savings? Trade $480 to get $3,000. How many times do you want to do that? You say, Ron, I'll do that all day long. I'll go borrow the $480 if you're going to give me $3,000. Of course you would. So strategy beats rate always. So not always is the higher APR the wrong program for you. What's wrong is only considering interest. And it's fascinating how many people I talk to, the only question they want to know is, Ron, what's the rate? Well, the rate can be whatever you want it to be, right? It could be 5% right now. Might not make sense for you to get a 5% rate, but we could do it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what are experts saying about the housing market? We will chat about it. And 6 ways to spring clean your home and finances. We'll talk about that one as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What are experts saying about the spring housing market? If you're planning to move soon, you might be wondering if there will be more homes to choose from, where prices and mortgage rates are headed, and how to navigate today's market. If so, here's what professionals are saying about what's in store for this season. Odetta Cushy, Deputy Chief Economist, First American, quote, "It seems our general expectation for the spring is that we'll see a pickup in inventory. In fact, that already seems to be happening, but it won't necessarily be enough to satiate demand," unquote. Lisa Sturdivant, Chief Economist, Bright MLS, quote, "There is still strong demand as the large millennial population remains in the prime first-time home buying range," unquote. Danielle Hale, Chief Economist, Realtor.com, quote, Where we are right now is best of both worlds. Price increases are slowing, which is good for buyers, and prices are still relatively high, which is good for sellers," unquote. Skylar Olson, Chief Economist, Zillow, quote, "There are slightly more homes for sale than this time last year, and there's plenty of competition for well-priced houses. Buyers should prep their credit scores, and sellers should prep their properties now. Attractive listings are going pending in less than a month, and time on the market will shrink in the weeks ahead," unquote. Zhao Zhu, Economist, Realtor.com, quote, "While mortgage rates remain elevated, home shoppers who are looking to buy this spring could find more affordable homes on the market than they saw at the same time last year. Specifically, there are 20.6% more homes available for sale, ranging between 200,000 and 350,000 in February 2024 than a year ago, surpassing growth in the other prices ranges," unquote. If you're looking to sell, this spring might be your sweet spot because there just aren't many homes on the market. Sure, inventory is rising, but it's nowhere near enough to meet today's buyer demand. That's why they're still selling so quickly. If you're looking to buy, the growing number of homes for sale this spring means you'll have more choices than this time last year, but be prepared to move quickly since there'll be plenty of competition with other buyers. This is national information. If you want your local information, rsrlistana.com, rsrlistana.com. Go there, register. It's going to give you a report for Anaheim, but then you can change it to whatever zip code you like. So that way you can find out what's going on in a specific zip code. Way more focused than if you were looking for national numbers. Bottom line, no matter what you're planning, let's team up confidently, navigate the busy spring housing market. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Let's do Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. RSR Debt Free. Hey, and RSR Debt Free, great. If you've got equity in your property, get rid of your debts. Talk about it. Maybe your blended household interest rate isn't as attractive as maybe you thought it was. Strategy beats rate always. If you don't have a lot of equity or if you don't own a house, Our friend Chris Corrales has a solution for you. Is it the right one? I don't know. You need to talk to him. rsrdebtfree.com. Anytime, if you've got more debts that you cannot pay off in the next 2 months, not a lot. If you can't pay them off in the next 2 months, rsrdebtfree.com is something that you should be exploring. 6 ways to spring clean your home and finances. With spring just around the corner, we might be daydreaming more about spring break and summer getaways. However, bundling a financial spring cleaning in with your home spring cleaning could help your money situation. In honor of Credit Education Month in March, take a closer look at your credit as well as review your budget and spending. If you're part of the 3/4 of Americans who partake in the annual ritual of spring cleaning, here's how to go about tidying up both your physical space and finances to improve your overall wellness. Number 1, start by decluttering. To begin your spring cleaning, go through each room and decide which items to keep, sell, or donate. This might take longer than anticipated, so aim to carve out time regularly. There are plenty of methods to declutter. To help inspire you, here are some popular techniques to declutter. KonMari method. This widely used and beloved method involves touching each of your items. If the item sparks joy, then keep it. If it doesn't, get rid of it. 30-day challenge. With 30-day challenge, you start by removing 1 item a day, 1, then 2 items on day 2, and so forth. When you get to day 3, you'll have purged day 30. You'll have purged your home of 465 items. Whew. 5-box method to help you stay organized in your quest to tidy up your home and get rid of unwanted items. You can stick to a 5-box method. Grab 5 containers or boxes. Next, label them accordingly. Trash, storage, stowaway, donate, and sell. As you go through your belongings, decide which category each item falls into. How about also using colored electrical tape on your clothes, on your hangers that your clothes are on? You know, you put this year, right, March, you might put on there the blue color. Well, if you haven't changed that hanger by 6 months from now, if you go and look in October, and you've still got blue hangers, those are things, unless it's seasonal, maybe you can get rid of them. Of course, we're in Southern California. What are our seasons? Number 2, sell unwanted items. Next, see if you can make a little cash by selling unwanted items. There are many online marketplaces that sell your gently used or new items. Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, eBay, and Craigslist are great places to start. Poshmark, ThreadUp, and Depop are platforms to sell unique and fashionable clothing, shoes, and accessories. You can also go niche and sell housewares, gifts, and vintage items on platforms like Mercari, eBay's retro or vintage sections, and Etsy. Before putting up an item for sale, note the condition and look at similar items to see what they're going for. It's also a good idea to keep track of what's sold. Come tax season, if you've earned more than $600 in online marketplace sales, you might owe taxes. Talk to your CPA. This wasn't in effect for 2023, but might change going forward. Consider maintaining a spreadsheet to keep track of what you sell. Or if you anticipate selling a high volume of goods, consider creating a separate business account with a payment platform such as Zelle, PayPal, or Venmo. Number 3, donate items to a nonprofit charity. That's a simple one. For items you've decided to donate versus sell, it's a good idea to check what tangible items an organization needs. A charity or nonprofit will often list on their website or post their top in search of supplies and items on social media. Typically, they won't accept used mattresses, pillows, and bedding. As for perishable food, some food pantries might accept food past the best by date, but you want to check ahead of time. I always wonder why they say they won't take used mattresses. Anybody that goes to a hotel is sleeping on a used mattress. Just want to throw that out there for you. Number 4, nix redundant or underused subscriptions. Beyond the clutter in your house, you can clear financial clutter by combing through your subscription services and recurring expenses. For example, maybe you have been enjoying your home gym more and are going more lunchtime walks and aren't using your fitness membership. If you aren't using that $50 a month gym membership, canceling your subscription saves $600 a year. Maybe your library card includes access to online film archive. If you end up dropping your streaming subscriptions, that's $25 extra each month, $300 a year. Number 5, check in with your credit reports and credit card debt. Cleanall3.com. Cleanall3.com. That is the source that we highly recommend. It gives you a real mortgage FICO score. I just had someone again last week. They looked on one of their credit cards that says, here's your FICO score. There are FICO scores that are for cars. There are FICO scores that are for credit cards. And there are FICO scores for mortgage. They are not all the same. Number 6, consider a shift in shopping and spending habits. Once you've tidied up your home and your finances, a good time to examine how you accumulated the extra stuff in the first place. Being mindful of what you spend your money on. Hello, Starbucks, what's your habit? Also, consider your shopping habits. Do you have a healthy relationship with shopping, or do you shop because restless, bored, or anxious? You can also consider practicing gratitude, which may help you spend less, or consider a minimalist lifestyle, which can also benefit your pocketbook. Bottom line, a bout of spring cleaning can not only make you refreshed and clear-headed, but it may help you save money, earn money, or boost your overall money situation. Consider engaging in purging, donating, and selling regularly. It may lead to a shift in money-saving habits. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. When we come back, what every home buyer should know about closing costs. We'll talk about that. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less? All without having to spend more each month than you spend right now. Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession, But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. What every homeowner should know about closing costs. Before making the decision to buy a home, it's important to plan for all the costs you'll be responsible for. While you're busy saving for the down payment, don't forget you'll want to prep for closing costs too. Here's some helpful information on what those costs are and how much you should budget for them. What are closing costs? A recent article from Bankrate explains, quote, closing costs are the fees and expenses you must pay before becoming a legal owner of a house, condo, or townhome. Closing costs vary depending on the purchase price of the home and how it's being financed, unquote. Simply put, your closing costs are the additional fees and payments you have to make a closing. According to Freddie Mac, while they can vary by location and situation, closing costs typically include government recording costs, appraisal fees, credit report fees, lender origination fees, title services, tax service fees, survey fees, attorney fees, underwriting fees. How much are closing costs? According to the same Freddie Mac article mentioned above, they're typically between 2 and 5% of the purchase price of your home. With that in mind, here's how you can get an idea of what you'll need to budget. Let's say you find a home you want to purchase at today's median price, $384,500. Not very likely in Orange County, but I know there are some out there in the Inland Empire. Based on the 2 to 5% Freddie Mac estimate, your closing fees could be roughly $7,700 to $19,000. Again, 2 to 5% of the purchase price is what you can think about in closing costs. Keep in mind, if you're in the market for a home or above or below the price I just mentioned, your closing costs could be higher or lower. Make sure you're prepared to close. Freddie Mac provides great guidance and advice for home buyers, saying, quote, as you start your home buying journey, take the time to get a sense of all costs involved from your down payment to closing costs, unquote. Best way to do that is by partnering with a team of trusted real estate professionals. That gives you a group of experts to help you understand how much you'll need to save and what you'll need to prepare for. It also means you have go-to resources for any questions that pop up along the way. Bottom line, for the fees and payments you'll need to cover when you're closing on your home, it's important. Partnering with a local real estate professional and lender, you can get this guidance that you need and be able to make an educated decision. I will share with you that there is a lot of confusion in the marketplace right now. Lots of confusion. You're seeing a lot of things because of a lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors. I'm going to share with you a couple of things. If you are selling your house and you think that you're not going to be paying a buyer's agent fee, well, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You want to pay the buyer's agent fee. You want to encourage and incentivize buyer's agents to show your property. You want them to bring as many people as possible. The more people that come and look at your property, the more you're going to get for your property. Understand that. Now, maybe you're not going to run the money through the seller's agent or the seller's broker. Maybe it's going to go from escrow right to the buyer's broker. But you want to make sure you're doing that. Buyers, you want somebody representing you. It's not a matter of finding the house. That's easy. You can go online and find a house. What happens between the time you find the house you want and closing? That's what you're paying for. And the experience that the agent brings. You're not paying for, you can go and pay somebody that's a first timer or a discount service or an attorney. But how many homes have they navigated the request for repairs. How many homes have they dealt with appraisers to make sure you get the value that you need? How many homes have they looked at? Do they understand your needs and wants? How many homes have they looked at to understand the condition of the neighborhood, the schools? These are all issues that are coming from a great buyer's agent with experience. So buyers, yes, you want one. Personally, I don't think at this point in time I would sign a buyer's agreement, but that may change. It may become law that you have to have a buyer's agreement with the broker. But you also want to look and understand the numbers. It's all about the education. And if you don't spend the money, the likelihood is you're going to get what you pay for. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Just throwing that out there. You are, as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, see up a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.